Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Dune Primer Series. This is my second episode. In this one, I'll go over the Harkonnens, and I'll again be using the visuals from the Elite Dangerous space simulation. If you haven't seen my first video on Kaladin and the Atreides, then I'd suggest checking that one out first. I'll put an info hyperlink up. The Harkonnens, according to the glossary at the end of Dune, are situated at Giedi Prime, which is orbiting Ophiuchi B, the second star of a trinary system. Other sources give the more precise location of it being the third planet around that star, so let's go see. It's just under 16 light years away from Kaladin, which is a little too close for comfort for a mortal enemy. So where the name Atreides seemed to have roots in ancient Mycenae, the name Harkonnen almost sounds Finnish, but I don't know if that's what Frank Herbert had in mind. Here we are at Ophiuchi. Refueling. You don't want to go inside that yellow curved line or you'll get cooked and kicked out of Lightspeed. Where we left off last time, at the planet Kaladin, where the Atreides and the main character Paul were all getting ready to leave for the strategically important planet of Arrakis on orders from the Emperor. In this they sense a trap, but are going anyway because they also can gain some advantage, some strategic advantages from it, and they decide to take that gamble. The previous occupiers of Arrakis were the Harkonnens from this star system. You get the impression that they and the Atreides are mortal enemies. Oh, compromised navigation beacon. Probably means it's full of pirates. At one point early on, the Duke Leto Atreides issues a vendetta against the Harkonnens. The word they use is Canly, and it's a highly formalized form of subversive warfare supervised by a person with the title Judge of the Change. This is to minimize collateral damage and to protect innocent bystanders, in principle, if not in practice. There are three main Harkonnen characters in this novel. There's the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. He's described as a very large man, weighing in at 200 kilograms, which is 440 pounds, and he walks wearing an anti-gravity harness that makes it that only 50 kilograms or 110 pounds of his weight is actually being supported by his legs. On a side note, anti-gravity suspensor tech is ubiquitous in this story. Chairs and lights are described as floating in the air. Scan detected. Some NPCs want to see if there's anything worth attacking me for. I only have repair limpets in my hold, so they'll probably leave me alone. Scan detected. The Baron is conniving, but necessarily so because of the risk of being assassinated by his heirs. He doesn't have any direct descendants, not that we know of at the beginning of the story, so that's a spoiler I'm not going to get into. There are two nephews that figure prominently. One is Rabban, who's always referred to as the Beast Rabban. He has the title of Count, and is kind of a brutish thug in the mold of his uncle, but not as strategically minded, though. He's kind of like a hammer used for every nail that presents itself. I kind of picture Biff from Back to the Future, only a little less ridiculous. So yeah, there's Ophiuchi A, B, and C. We're interested in B and the third planet. Let's put a marker there. There's C. It's got some planets too.
Scan detected.
But yeah, that's not where we want to go. We want to check this one out. Third planet of Ophiuchi B. Disruptive mass detected. The game mechanics have it that nearby masses slow down your jump to light speed. I have to boost out of range of these ships following me first. I have another ship that would get me out of here faster, but this one has a much better jump range between stars, so I'm using it for these videos. I should get a bumper sticker that says my other ship is a Mamba. The other nephew is Fade Rautha, and he's a force to be reckoned with. He's cunning and resourceful, athletic and merciless. Although the younger nephew, he's the designated heir of the Baron for these reasons. He trains in fights to the death in gladiatorial games. The fights are usually fixed, but even then, even when they're not fixed, he does come out ahead. He's a year older than Paul Atreides, and you get the sense early on that there's going to be a showdown between these two. Those are the main family members of House Harkonnen that we're introduced to. Another important character for the Harkonnens is Piter de Vries. He's the Baron's mentat. He's as ruthless and cunning as his employer, and has all the attributes of a mentat to boot. I mentioned them in the previous installment. He's revered and feared by all the other houses. He consumes the spice from Arrakis and has blue where the white of his eyes should be, like everyone who takes that substance in abundance. We'll get more into that on the Arrakis video. In contrast to the Atreides, who appear to rule by the accomplishments of merit and loyalty, the Harkonnens rule by fear and intimidation, and by channeling the baser instincts of their subordinates. For example, one of the Baron's chiefs of security is promoted in part due to his addiction to samuta, a kind of music-induced trance state. The Baron figures he can better control a person if he knows their vices. This planet has 3 human settlements on it in the game. In the story, the planet's day is 31.27 hours long, and the orbit is 2.6 standard years. In this game, it's 128.4 days rotation and orbit, so it's tidally locked like our moon, always showing the same side to its sun. Unlike the previous star system we visited, this one's completely uninhabitable. 0.3 Earth masses, no atmosphere, rock and metal, a great rock in space. The stellar orbits are kind of interesting. They cross over each other. I see B and C. I don't see Ophiuchi, the primary star. I guess it's in the middle there, where they're both orbiting. Yeah, there's definitely 3 here. There's C, pretty far away. So here it is, the 3rd planet of Ophiuchi B, where Giedi Prime would be in the Dune novel. In the next video, we'll go to the star system of Arrakis, and that's the most important one of the series of videos. So we'll see you then, and thank you for watching.